Welcome to Cory's Conscious Living. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Make sure that you're laying still and comfortable and quiet. Jessica was dreaming. She was running through the forest. The trees were thick and tall and plentiful. She was barefoot. She was running next to Rocky and Luna, the wolves. Her heart was beating really, really fast. And for the longest time in her dream, she was just running and running and running. Jessica didn't realize that subconsciously she was running away from her fears. Her dreams were trying to tell her that everything would be okay. But she just kept running. Jessica was 11. And she was frightened of getting her cycle. She was frightened of getting her period. She was frightened because of everything that she'd heard. It was painful. It was messy. It was uncomfortable. You get depressed. You get moody. You bleed all over. All of these words and thoughts were in Jessica's mind, and in her dream, she was free, and she was running with the wolves. While she was dreaming, she sat quietly on a big, chunky, hefty log that had been fallen. She sat and stared up at the moon that was full that night. Luna and Rocky laid close by. As she stared at the moon started to communicate with her. The moon said, "Have no fear. Your body is just like mine. Your body follows the cycle of the moon, just like mine, my dear. Your body has a cycle of 28 days, and during those 28 days, you go through many phases. You go through a spring, a summer, an autumn, and a winter, just like Mother Earth. Mother Earth is just like you, Jessica. She has cycles too." Jessica sat quietly and listened to the moon. She gently stroked on Luna that was laid beside her. She was calm and peaceful as the moon talked to her. The moon was telling her things that she already knew. It felt like she'd known them from a long, long time ago. Jessica closed her eyes and saw flashes of images of the past. A past where she sat in a circle with many women and they all bled together. They talked and supported and loved on each other. The bleeding cycle was sacred. It was a time for rest, a time for purification, a time to rejoice in the body's ability. a time to let go of the old and bring in the new. The bleeding is a sign of release, a sign that you're letting go of everything in your mind and your body that you no longer need. She saw times in the past where women would drink honey to make their cycles gentle and regular and easy. She saw times in the past where tribes would celebrate a young woman's first period, and they would all come out and dance and sing and rejoice in the fact that she'd become a woman. Jessica opened her eyes and looked at the moon again. And the moon said, "You will have cycles, just like Mother Earth and just like myself. When you are full, that means you will ovulate. Ovulation is when you release an egg, a chance of creating a new birth into the world. When you ovulate, you will be full of energy. You will want to complete things. You will want to produce things. You will want to start things. You will want to be busy. And then, when the ovulation period is over, you will go into a quiet period, just like autumn. You'll start to get ready to slow things down in your world. You'll start to want to be more quiet, more reserved. You're preparing. Your body's preparing for winter, for your period coming. And then finally, when winter comes and you bleed, you rest. Your body lets go. It's as if it almost goes through a mourning period. It lets go of the egg that wasn't used to create life. It lets go of everything that was held onto that last month to make space for a new month. And when winter is over, spring starts to appear. You'll feel vulnerable. You'll feel open and just a little bit raw. You may still be sensitive, but just like spring, it's a time when you prepare for new growth, when the flowers start to grow on the earth. That's when your body's starting to prepare to grow a new egg. And then before you know it, you're back into summer. You're back into ovulating, party time, fun time, the time when you're at your fullest energy. Ovulation is when the moon is full and we have our periods. When the moon and the sky is dark, the new moon that signifies the new you when you let go of everything with your blood. Jessica thought all this was so interesting. She never realized that her period was something so sacred and special. She felt connected to the earth because she had a cycle just like Mother Earth. Her winter, her spring, her summer, and her fall were just like cycles of her body. And she felt connected to the moon because the moon was her guide. When the moon was full, she was ovulating herself. She was full, full like a flower ready to bloom. And when the moon was dark and the sky was dark, that's when her mood would sometimes be dark, and she would retreat into her shell and be quiet and loving and honor herself as she bled and let go of her last month. The way that Jessica would look at her periods would never be the same. She would honor her body. She would adore the fact that her body was smart and clever and could produce life if it wanted to. She saw in that moment how special she really was. A young woman on the verge of her cycle, her menses, her period, her bleeding time, whatever you want to call it. Jessica's dreams switched, and she walked through the forest with Luna and Rocky, calmly. She walked with her shoulders back and high and proud. She felt strong as she connected to the earth underneath her feet. Mother Earth, her sister, just like the moon was her sister. She felt like she'd walked the earth like this in her dream many lifetimes. Jessica found a place to lay in the forest. She wrapped her arms around Luna and Rocky and stared up at the moon. The moon was bright and full. She closed her eyes and started to let go. In her dream, she started to dream that she was sleeping. It was a peaceful sleep, a sacred sleep. Once again, she was connected to the earth. Once again, she had the wisdom and knowledge, the sacred wisdom of her power. And as she dreamed that she was sleeping under the moon with Rocky and Luna, all of her fears of her period to come disappeared into the night sky. She felt ready, excited almost. She slept.